oh my God, everything that I've been told is a lie. Who do you trust? Where do you get your information from, right? Everybody, the system says, go to school, get a degree. If we don't have money to get a degree, what do? Get student loans. The number one liability for young people nowadays are student loans. And the government always talks about how we have this huge student loan epidemic, this huge student loan problem. But the number one asset on the United States balance sheet are student loans. On one hand, we have people talking about the importance of higher education, the importance of going into debt to get your degree. And then at the same time, that's your number one asset. It's holding so many people back from buying a home, from living their lives, from doing things, investing their money, yet at the same time it's keeping the government rich. Most of us, myself included, are never taught a thing about money. We're told, go to school, get a degree, get a job, and all you figure it out.
Right.
And then what happens for the majority of people is you end up broke, you end up struggling financially, and you can never figure out why. I went through high school, I went through college, I went through 1 year grad school, and then I went through law school, and I never once learned to think about money. Never once learned to think about budgeting, never once learned to think about building wealth, never once learned to think about investing my money, and never once learned to think about passive income. I saw my parents work their butt off. They would always tell me that you have to go out and become successful. And I figured, okay, if I want to become successful, I should follow the steps that we're told to become successful. What are those steps? Go to school, get a good degree, get a good job. Along that way, it was in college, I realized that something's wrong. Something's not adding up. As I was studying, I started reading other business books and financial books. And I remember this. I was in the library studying, and I went onto Google, and I searched the richest people in America. You see people like Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. None of these people are doctors. None of these people went down that traditional route of getting a degree, doing a good job. Am I missing something? That's when I started questioning things, and I realized, oh, maybe this isn't right. And as you start to go down deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, you start to realize, oh my God, everything that I've been told is a lie. So that kind of pushed me into this whole painful, emotional journey of learning about money, learning about entrepreneurship, learning about what does it mean to become wealthy and how do you actually do it. Right. We're taught to go to school, to get a degree, to get a job, so we can then get a job and climb the corporate ladder. But wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people are not working to climb the corporate ladder, they're working to own the corporate ladder. Most of us are taught to get that degree so we can do one thing, climb the corporate ladder, earn a bigger salary. But if you only rely on your salary, you're just one step away from being broke. Because if you lose your job, something happens to you, you can't work, or your company goes down, you lost your salary and now you have no income coming in, and now what? This is where you got to be proactive. And now I'm just like, this is crazy. Why was I never taught this? I was never taught about wealth. I was never taught about investing. I was never taught about this sort of financial education. But why aren't we taught this? And that's when I realized it's very profitable to keep people financially uneducated. It's profitable to keep people poor. The banks profit when you're financially uneducated because they'll keep you saving money in the bank. They'll keep you in consumer debt. If the banks lived by their own advice, which is save money, the banks would be losing money. When you go and deposit $1,000 in the bank, that cash that you deposited is a liability for the bank. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money away from your pocket. So when the bank has your cash, it's a liability for them. They want to get rid of it as fast as possible. And the way they do that is by lending it out because it's an investment for the bank. They don't want to hold on to cash, but they want you to save your money. And what's happening to your cash while it's there? It's losing value to inflation each and every day. Every day that you keep your cash in the bank, you're becoming poorer. And so now when you keep your cash in the bank is paying you 0.01%, maybe 0.5% if you're lucky, and they're turning around lending it for 5%, 6%. And so the bank does not want to keep that cash in savings because it's a liability for them. They want to keep you spending money on their credit card because now they'll get to earn 18 to 25% in interest every time you spend $1.
Wow.
Governments want you to be financially uneducated because when you're financially uneducated, guess what? You are an employee and you're a consumer. Who pays the highest taxes? Employees and consumers. Everybody knows that rich people don't pay taxes. It makes people angry. Anything can be a tax deduction if you know how to make it a deduction. If you don't have an income, you don't have any tax. Elon Musk, he is probably the biggest example of this. He never got paid a salary running and owning Tesla. He got paid in stock options. Stock options that he gets, or originally got, were at $6 a share. So when the stock went up to $1,000 a share, and he was given millions of these stock options. Now, he has on paper a lot of money, but that money isn't in his bank account. So what he does is, instead of selling it and having an income, he goes to the bank and says, hey, I have these stock options which are worth billions of dollars. How about you give me a loan at 3, 4, 5% interest? He takes that loan, pays 3 to 4 to 5% interest on it, and if his company grows, his stock value grows by 6%, he just made a profit on that. He didn't have to take any money out, never took an income, doesn't pay any taxes, and it's all a game.
Yeah.
And this is what wealthy people understand. It's all a game.